The return of the stable genius. Oh, yes, he did.
Will you be tweeting differently once you board the Air Force One?
No, that's other people that do that. I don't. I'm very consistent. I'm a very stable genius.
Actually, this was the first time the president said it. The last time was in a tweet.
If there is one thing that terrifies an authoritarian personality more than losing power, it is the unvarnished truth. For decades, Donald Trump has constructed a massive gold-plated mythology around his own intellect. He does not simply ask the American public to agree with his policies. He demands that people bow down to his mind. He has relentlessly branded himself as a stable genius, constantly reminding anyone who will listen that he has one of the highest IQs in the world, and citing his undergraduate degree from the Wharton School as proof of his superiority. He has used this carefully manufactured academic image to bully the press, insult decorated generals, and demean political rivals. But the entire narrative relies on one closely guarded secret: the suppression of his actual academic records.
Donald Trump had an answer for that, too. I think it's fake news. But if he did that, I guess we'll have to compare IQ tests, and I can tell you who is going to win.
When Stephen Colbert finally got his hands on the truth and opened the vault on national television, he did not just tell a joke. He delivered a devastating demolition of the genius myth, and the roar from the audience echoed far beyond the studio walls. The atmosphere inside the Ed Sullivan Theater that night felt different from a standard late-night comedy broadcast. The crowd expected the usual political satire, a few sharp punchlines about rambling speeches or midnight social media meltdowns. But when Colbert walked to his desk, he did not smile. He moved with the heavy deliberation of someone about to deliver a historic announcement. The audience immediately sensed the shift and fell into complete silence. President Trump has spent his entire public life shouting from the rooftops that he is the smartest man on earth, Colbert began, his voice calm and stripped of humor. He has threatened schools and universities with lawsuits if they ever released his grades. He tells us he was top of his class. He tells us his IQ is off the charts. Well, tonight, thanks to a patriotic whistleblower inside the university archives, we no longer have to take his word for it.
It has been a rough start to the school year for Donald Trump. His report card is definitely going to say, has problems working and playing well with others. And there's not much we can do. What can we do? Because the Oval Office doesn't have any corners. You can't put him in a timeout because it's open warfare between Donald Trump and the Republicans. It all started in an attempt to avoid open warfare.
Colbert reached beneath his desk and pulled out a university-stamped manila folder. Slowly, he removed a stack of faded transcripts and held them toward the camera under the bright studio lights, the seal of the University of Pennsylvania clearly visible. The tension inside the theater became suffocating, Colbert said softly, sliding on his reading glasses. Introduction to Macroeconomics, a C-. He paused, letting the grade hang in the air. Principles of Marketing, a C. He looked directly into the camera, and in his required business ethics seminar, an incomplete followed by a negotiated pass.
We have the results of their IQ test right here. Tillerson scored a 120. It's above average, not genius, but still pretty good. And we have Donald Trump's results right here. It's a drawing of a big truck that says MAGA. And there's Trump right there saying honk honk. And here's Rex Tillerson, but Trump calls him Rex Smellerson, okay? So it's a toss-up. We're not entirely sure.
The audience erupted. Gasps instantly turned into thunderous laughter and applause. It was not polite chuckling. It was the explosive sound of a decades-long illusion collapsing live on television.
Throughout my life, my two greatest assets have been mental stability and being, like, really smart. Being, like, really smart is not the same thing as being really smart, sir. Tootsie Rolls are like chocolate if chocolate was made of brown wax and disappointment.
He was not the top of his class, Colbert declared over the roar. He was not an academic anomaly. He was not a genius. He was a painfully mediocre student whose wealthy father made sure he still walked away with a diploma. Having average grades is not a crime. Millions of brilliant Americans earn C's in college and go on to build wonderful lives, and attacking others just to protect their own fragile ego.
President of the United States, I think that would qualify as not smart, but genius, ... and a very stable genius at that.
Clips of Colbert reading the transcript spread across the internet and completely hijacked the news cycle. The president panicked, firing off furious social media posts attacking Colbert, threatening lawsuits, and insisting the documents were a deep state forgery. But the frantic denials only made the damage worse. He could not scream loudly enough to overpower the quiet authority of the paperwork. The stable genius narrative was dead, destroyed not by a foreign adversary or a campaign attack ad, but by a late-night host holding a 50-year-old report card. For millions of Americans watching from home, it felt like a rare moment of accountability. A reminder that no matter how loudly a politician shouts into a microphone, and no matter how aggressively they try to rewrite history with threats and lawsuits, the truth always leaves a paper trail.